Shabbat Shalom. This week I am in conversation with our beloved Cantor Emmas Lutz, and we're going to focus on some of the liturgy and some of the traditions of the month of Elul, the month we're in right now. So, Cantor, I wanted to start by asking you about one of your favorite Elul traditions, a favorite Elul text, a favorite Elul musical setting, something that really places you in this time as we're preparing for Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur.
I think my favorite piece of liturgy that comes to mind is Psalm 27, which is directly from our Tanakh. And there's a tradition that you read this psalm every single day from the beginning of Elul all the way through the end of Sukkot. So it's actually 50 days that you take, 3-5 minutes a day to connect to this psalm. And it's so, so beautiful. It's not one of those psalms that's celebratory or full of cymbals and trumpets and hallelujahs and phrases of praise, but rather it's really a psalm that is full of yearnings of the heart and vulnerability and fear and doubt. So I think that it's not only so fitting for this period leading up to the Yamim Noraim, but it's also so fitting for this time that we're living in. There's so much to be afraid of. There's so much that we are hiding from, and yet we have to be living with faith. We have to be living with hope, so that we might have a better tomorrow. So it really rings true this year more than ever.
That's beautiful. What's something in the psalm, maybe, one verse or one phrase that really evokes that, and also that feels particularly relevant right now as we're reciting Psalm 27 according to Jewish tradition in a time of global pandemic? Maybe you could touch on both of those things.
Sure. I think two phrases come to mind. The first is Kaveh el Adonai, Chazak ve'ametz. Really a reminder for us to cling to God and to be strong and strengthen ourselves. We need so much to bolster us up and to lift us up as we're thrown out of our routines. And so I really love that reminder that strength is really within us when we connect to God in the deepest way. And then, of course, the most famous verse from this psalm, Achat sha'alti me'et Adonai, really a request that God allows us to live within God's house. Now, this phrase means so much to me this year, of course, because we can't be together in God's house. We can't be together in our sanctuary on the top of our mountain. And we feel pain. It really hurts not to be able to gather together. So what does it mean to create God's house where we are, where we're living, where we're inhabiting? How do we get that little piece of heaven in our homes, in our bodies, wherever we are right now when we can't be in our sanctuary, when we can't be in God's house? So the words are just ringing so, so loud and so true to me this year.
That's beautiful. And actually, we've created some wonderful resources to help you turn your home into a mikdash ma'at, into a small sanctuary, so that you can have that sense of kedusha, that sense of holiness. And in some ways, it can be easier because, your home is where your family is. Your home is where so much of your life is. So I think there's going to be some beautiful moments that come out of this. I was hoping maybe you could share one of your favorite musical settings of that verse, that Achat sha'alti. And I've heard many, but what's one that's a favorite of yours right now?
Sure. There are some familiar ones that you might know that are that Eastern European sort of minor key, that lilting, that sad feeling. There are some more modal Middle Eastern phrases as well. But the one that's standing out to me is one that I had the privilege to record this year for a new Cantors album, the first High Holiday Anthology for our Cantors Union. And the composition is by my dear friend and colleague, Cantor Dan Singer, who's at the other Stephen Wise Free Synagogue in Manhattan. And this one is in a major key. There's a joyful sound. And it kind of reminds me of that feeling that I get when I hear the shofar. I'm filled with hope and with positivity for the new year. So I'll just sing a little bit of that phrase. Achat sha'alti me'et Adonai ota vakesh shivti beveit Adonai kol yemei chayai. So you can hear that upbeat feeling, that lift that we get. It's really a lift that I feel when I'm with our community to pray. So I'm feeling lifted towards that moment that we get to be together next year, but also just feeling a lot of hope this year for better times to come.
It's beautiful. And also, if anybody wants to listen to that, you can hear a beautiful, beautiful new recording of that. You can go to our website. We'll put the URL on the bottom of the screen. I also have that sense of release that we're supposed to feel when we unburden ourselves from our transgressions by doing teshuvah. So there's a sense of that in there too. And there's something joyful about that. So,
Right.
So thank you.
I'm wondering, do you have any favorite PU team, any favorite texts, any favorite songs for this period leading up to Rosh Hashanah?
Well, I'm glad you asked. One of my very favorite traditions of this month of Elul is actually from the Edot HaMizrach, from the Middle Eastern Jewish tradition and the Sephardic Jewish tradition. And I learned about this when I was living in Israel, that for Sephardic and Mizrahi Jews, every single day of the month of Elul includes special slichot, special prayers of penitence, where we come before God saying we are sorry for all the ways that we have fallen short. And Adon HaSlichot is probably the best known of all of those. It's a piyut, a liturgical poem that goes back hundreds and hundreds of years. There are many musical settings. But there's a really famous one that I particularly love. It's an acrostic, like a lot of these poems are. Each word includes the next letter in the Hebrew alphabet. So it begins Adon HaSlichot, Lord of forgiveness, Bochen Levavot, you are the one who examines our souls, Golei Amukot, you reveal the depths. There's this sense that God knows everything we've done, all of the transgressions, but also all of the good things that we've done throughout the year. And then we come before God and we say, Chatanu lefanecha, we have sinned before you, Rachem aleinu, please be compassionate to us. So it's really powerful. It's a reminder, especially during the month of Elul, that we need to be doing the work of teshuvah and preparing ourselves for the new year.
I love that you have a place associated with this particular melody. Music has that magical power to bring memories to us, smells, feelings, places. And it makes me hopeful and excited for when I get to go back to Jerusalem. And I'm also thinking that for me, this melody has a specific place as well. Last year, right before our Yom Kippur assembly in Y School, one of the moms asked me to sing a particular melody to Adon HaSlichot. And I'm wondering if it's the melody that you know, and wondering if you might sing some of it for us so that I might recall it as well.
Well, Cantor, I'm glad that you asked. I happen to have my guitar right here. Let me strum a bit of this melody, and maybe it's the one that you're thinking of as well.
Okay.
Adon HaSlichot, Bochen Levavot, Golei Amukot, Doveh Tzedakot, Chatanu lefanecha, Rachem aleinu.
Chatanu lefanecha, Rachem aleinu.
That's the one. I love that melody.
That's it.
And if you like that as well, you can find many settings of that on YouTube, and there's just some beautiful ones. But look at the words. They're very inspiring and powerful. Cantor, thank you so much.
Thank
I want to
you.
remind everybody that you can download, listen to these amazing new songs that our cantors recorded on our website. And also tomorrow night, we are going to be observing Slichot together with Wilshire Boulevard Temple and Sinai Temple, Valley Beth Shalom. And the study sessions begin at 6:30, and our rabbis are going to be teaching some of those study sessions. And then at 8:30, our cantors are going to be leading us in just exquisite and gorgeous service. So please join us. Thank you, Cantor Emma.
Thank you. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.